Mic test. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. How's it going, Angry Meatball? You doing all right tonight? Seems like everything is up on my end. Turn this up just a bit. Yeah, let me know if this sounds any better. I'm gonna probably keep the heater on tonight just because it's actually substantially colder than normal. So I don't, at least for the first like 30 minutes to an hour to heat the room up. I probably should have put it on in advance, but I didn't think about it. Hey, Junior's account. I don't know that you were first, but you were the first to say first tonight, so welcome to the stream. I mean, just let me know how bad it sounds, and if I need to, yeah, I'll move it further back if it's like blaring into the mic. It doesn't sound too bad to me, but I also have headphones on. But I want to let it warm up the room for at least a little bit longer. But yeah, how are you guys doing tonight? Let's see. All right, messages are sent. Sounds up. Are you sure the studio is properly insulated? I mean, it's insulated. It's not like super cold in here. It's just Texas weather, man. Like yesterday, the weather was 80 degrees pretty much most of the day, and now it's 37, right? So it's just comparably speaking, like 35. Yeah, no matter what I do, it's, you know, it's 40 degrees colder than what we typically get here in Texas. So for me, it's not a big deal. Like I'm relatively used to the cold, but you know, that's why I have a heater just in case. But it is definitely colder. It's 4 degrees here. Hey, what's up, Catboy? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm not used to that kind of cold. I'm talking about Texas cold, which I understand is really not cold by comparison to a lot of other places. Hey, personalities, welcome to the stream. Let's see. Get some of these notes on here real quick. The air's thinner up here, and there's a storm warning. Jesus. Well, stay safe. I hope you're prepared either way. Do it like this time. What is this thing you call cold? I've never heard of the concept. Well, lucky you. I'm not even going to tell you about it, so you don't even have to think about the concept. It's a terrible thing. I mean, it's actually pretty nice. I like the cold, generally speaking. Like, I sleep with my fans on high. Like, I like to be cold when I sleep, but Welcome to the chat, Moon Spiders. Not only were you not first, you were also not the first person to say first. You were the second person to say first. So I'm not really sure what to tell you on that one. I'm joking. I love the cold. Unfortunately, I live in South Florida. That doesn't, yeah, it's not the best place to be if cold is where you want to be. But neither is Texas, so. Moon Spider says the others don't count. I'm not sure that's true, especially if you're saying Junior's account doesn't count. Take issue with that, and I'm sure you take issue with that as well. So. But yeah, guys, welcome to the stream. Glad to see so many of you guys are here right off the jump. That's pretty cool. Normally, the first few minutes is just me, Angry Meatball, Catboy, and sometimes before D&D. So welcome to the stream. It's good to have you guys here. Today we will be working on primarily some more monster ideas, so we can do the deep dive on Saturday, where we'll build out some of those monsters. And make them usable for your own RPG games. As far as some quick announcements, we did record the second episode of the podcast and have a little behind the scenes clip on TikTok that I posted in the Clips channel. We should have that episode out next Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. That's the big one. We may be recording a one-shot because some of my players are begging me to record the one-shot next week. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do it, and we'll post it to one of the YouTube channels for those who do want to check it out. And that's really it. All the normal stuff. Before D&D is still the stream boss. Long may he reign. He's at a streak of 2, so we'll see how long that goes. As always, any donation of $1 does 200 damage, and any follow does 200 damage. And we are, last certainly not least, we are now at 39 followers. We had 2 people follow over the last 2 days while we were offline. So a big shout out to Tyro44 and It's Drive for joining the archive and following the channel. I appreciate both of you guys and hope to see you in the chat sometime. So, with that being said, we'll get things started. If you guys have any ideas that you want to throw out, any conversation that you want to have, I am here, and I will be taking my own notes in between as always. So, Catboy says, depends what part of Texas. I have it on good authority. The Dallas area gets quite cold in the winter. I believe it. I've only been to Dallas once, so I'm not sure how true it is. But once again, it's like relative, because I doubt that Dallas gets as cold as South Dakota does, which is where I'm originally from, right? It's not, when you're up north or you're in an area where, to Angry Meatball's point, where you get to 4 degrees, I don't think it's getting to 4 degrees in Dallas. It's probably just cold in the sense that it's like 30-ish degrees and windy. And that's a bitch for people who live in Texas and don't have to deal with that all the time. But who knows? Who knows? I don't live in Dallas. I live in Houston, so here we just deal with randomness. 70 to 80 degrees on a Tuesday and then 37 degrees on a fucking Wednesday. Makes a lot of sense. Actually, put on my music. There we go. Catboy says, I lived in Dallas for a few years. It doesn't go to those extremes, but it does get cold enough that I needed several layers going to school. That's fair. Yeah, trust me, I'm not saying that, I have the the resistance that I had when I was younger, right? Like I definitely had to throw on some layers. Like when I went to New York, it was a lot colder up there than what I'm normally used to here. So I could not hang in South Dakota like I used to. To be fair, I was only there until I was relatively young and only went back a couple times. Haven't been back in years, but yeah. We got what is it now? Today's the 23rd. We have 6 days till the 1st. 6 days to see if we reach affiliate and can do this giveaway. So, as always, if you guys know anyone who you think might like this content, go ahead and share it with them. We only need 12 people at this point to make our goal, so we're almost there. Let me send out a message on Reddit. Hey, alright, perfect. Catboy says, speaking of cold, I got a monster to present. I got the stats up on the Discord, but not lore. It's called Cold Fire Elemental. That is already a saucy name. So let me put it on the dock. And then let me pull up Cold Fire. Let me pull up the link on Discord. But yeah, how's everyone else doing today? Angry Meatball's dealing with the storm. Hopefully it ends up not being a huge thing, but everyone else doing alright? Okay. Jesus. Okay. I like it. I like it. Mechanically, it's basically the fire elemental, but does cold damage. What am I trying to say? What would you imagine it aesthetically looks like? Like, how do you describe a cold fire elemental? Angry Meatball says, my only concern is my internet. I mean, that's a good thing for it to be your only concern, because that means that you're going to be fine on everything else, which is good to hear, and hopefully the internet doesn't become a problem, where then, you have no concerns. Catboy says, yeah, work sucked today. I'm sorry to hear that. If I remember correctly, you're off tomorrow, so that's good at least. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Oh shit, let me write this down before I forget. Because I am likely to forget. Good. I send myself text messages sometimes when I have like ideas I think of and need a quick way to get them down, and then I always forget to transfer them to my actual notes, and they just get lost. Secretarian. And then okay, cool. Like blue and white flames, the big thing is that instead of feeling when you get close, I assume you mean feeling hot, when you get close to it, you feel bitter cold. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, you corrected yourself. Okay, gotcha. Blue and white flames. Okay, I dig it. I'm sure we can figure out some lore for that on Saturday. I need to refresh the rules of a certain game. Building monsters for use in game is pretty easy, but fluff can be difficult. And Angry Meatball says, I've thought about the giant bug I mentioned before. What do you mean by fluff, Catboy? It needs to fly, and it needs to make more bugs. I know you don't watch anime, Angry Meatball, but anyone else in the chat, is it? I'm trying to think. Does anyone know what crap, I'm forgetting his name. Is it Shino? I'll just look it up. There's a character in the anime Naruto who uses a certain type of insect that I think would fit what you're describing. If you haven't already picked out one that you want to use. Catboy says, "Oh, fluff is the non-mechanical parts of design elements, like what color the elemental isn't necessary to run it, but nice to know for presenting it to players." Okay, I got you. I see what you mean. Like, yeah, basically just the descriptive details, the stuff that matters, but it doesn't matter because those descriptions are super powerful, but. Poker hand levels. Let's see. Meatball says fluff versus crunch. Let me look up that bug for you real quick. I think it's Shino. Yeah. Maybe these bugs aren't real. Not that that necessarily matters. Let me see. So, flying beetle. I don't know if this is kind of what you're going for, Angry Meatball, but there's something. Maybe that'll help. Cool. With 13. Visual designs are not my strong point. That's fair. They're definitely challenging, for sure. But for me, it's always like when I'm trying to conceptualize like lore or anything else, like at least having a basic idea of the visuals is helpful. So even like in the case of the like blue and white flame, that tells me, well, it gives me ideas is what it does. It doesn't specifically tell me anything. But like using the example of the cold fire elemental, I think of almost like, how do I say it? Like, and obviously Catboy is primarily going to be up to you how you want to develop the lore of this when we do it on Saturday, but like I almost think of a corrupted fire elemental, right? Like, like maybe there's what is a white dragon would be the cold one, yeah. Like maybe it's magically influenced by a white dragon, or just like a similar creature that's known for cold, takes an elemental, because then you can expand on it. It doesn't just have to be fire to cold. But you take an elemental and you corrupt it with a more powerful creature that's known for its element, and then now all of a sudden that elemental is changed or tarnished. It looks similar to what it would be in its natural state, but does some things that are a little out of the norm. That's the first thing that comes to my mind, thinking of the blue and white flames, and then it being a cold fire elemental. But let's see. See? Right? There's lots of possibilities though, right? Because in theory, if one elemental type can be corrupted, then any elemental type could be. So, and what that corruption might look like could be different in each case, or based on the creature that's doing the corrupting, obviously. Because elementals are by no means the most powerful creatures, but they're not pushovers either. Not the kind of thing that like just anyone's going to be able to corrupt. Angry Meatball says, are you familiar with the hybrid elementals from 3.5? I am not. I am personally not familiar. Two elemental combinations. How, like lore-wise, how did they describe that working? Or were they already just like existing in the world, kind of similar to the other elementals? Because, or like, do they exist on the border between elemental planes? That'd be kind of cool. Oh, okay. So it completely like it made a new elemental type. Okay. Earth plus fire equals magma. Water plus earth equals ooze. Water plus air equals steam. Air plus fire equals smoke. Yeah, they were boundary areas between elemental planes. Yeah, that makes the most sense. That's how I would envision it, right? It's like as you get close to those borders, there's going to be a little bit more mixture, and that mixture could create some interesting combinations. Catboy says, I have heard of them. Fifth has the spirit of them and methods. Uh, yeah, I think like there's a lot you could do with elementals, right? Like combining elements together to create new ones is cool. I like the idea of I like the idea of corrupted creatures though, like creatures that were meant to do one thing, and then they're kind of taken away from their purpose. Angry Meatball says, I ran into a fellow on YouTube a few years ago who converted them. I think I still have those documents. Yeah, if you find them, feel free, post them in the Discord. I would love to check them out. Let me know. I'll take a look at them tonight if possible. It's kind of a little side project. I need some tavern games for my one shot next week. I have one that I can use that will be easy enough, but if you guys have any suggestions or even games that like maybe don't have a D&D version that like you think would be fun to make work in a D&D game, because maybe that's a topic that we eventually do a deep dive on, would be tavern games where we make some of our own games, would be kind of cool. But if all else fails, I can always default to dice poker. Dice poker. Oh, alright, that was quick. They're up. Let me go check those out then. Para Elemental. The long archive of saved D&D content, mostly from Reddit. Yeah, I mean that's where I've typically gotten most of my, D&D content from. It is a great resource for sure. But yeah, I mean that's what the Discord's for, man. If you ever think there's something that you should drop in there, don't hesitate. Para elemental smoke. Ooh. So what would ice be then? Ice just water and air maybe? Ice might be air water. Yeah. Makes sense. Check out this other one. Oof. The Omni Elemental. A gargantuan class elemental. CR 16. Probably because it's so damn big. It's 653 hit points. CR 16. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, I might use this in a session. That is that. It's no joke right there. I don't know if I would class that at CR 16 though. Maybe. I feel like it should almost be a higher class monster. Oh well. It's not my decision. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the math on it right now, but I feel like, I mean, the armor class is low enough where it's easy enough to hit, but with all those resistances, condition immunities, right? Like you can't. Well, apparently you can stun the thing, which I don't know how that makes sense, but otherwise it's like mostly condition immune. You have the fact that if you fucking use an elemental effect on it, you got a 1 in, what is this, 10 chance? So you got a 10% chance that you're screwing yourself over. Yeah, imagine your players' expressions when they barely manage to beat a creature and then it bursts into 4 monsters. Yep, that's always the best feeling. I don't know. I like it though. Like I would either use this in the high level one shot or maybe even in the actual campaign when they're higher level. It's a great concept. Omni Elemental. So, in campaigns, what level do you like to start at? It just depends. The last campaign I ran, I started at level 1. I am thinking that I'm going to start them at level 2 in this campaign. I've said it before, everything I do, I try to make sense in the scheme of, like, what the story direction I'm going with is. And I think two is the good fit. I like starting at level 1 personally. I know some people like to start at 3. In my case, these are all returning players, but they kind of like the early level grind as well. But a lot of their backstories don't make sense for them to be level 1. So they need to be at least a little bit more formidable in the beginning. What level do you typically start your seasoned players at, Angry Meatball? Yeah, for me, I love the idea of running like long stretching campaigns. And I feel like that those early levels are a lot more rewarding. To players that play in a long campaign. If they're meant to be shorter sprints instead of marathons, then I'd probably start them at higher levels. But it says, but people have been playing for a while. It depends on the content of the campaign, either 3 or 5, depending on what we're looking to focus on. Catboy says, my first campaign was the only one where I started the players at level 1. Yeah, I mean, level 1's a tricky one because they're like, they're very weak. Like, level 1 is like, they got a little more than nothing. Is basically what it is at level 1. And depending on the class, in some case that stretches into level 2. And then by level 3, most of the classes are like, substantially stronger than a regular person, substantially stronger than your weakest enemy types. But that was the one where the cleric nearly killed half the party. I remember you talking about that. Angry Meatball says, a little more than nothing is the perfect amount to juggle when learning how to play for the first time. I completely agree. Yeah, that's why I agree starting them at lower levels is good, because obviously it lets you ease them into, into the game. But I tend to do the opposite in a one-shot, though. Like, I'll start at, like, a pretty medium level. Because I know, like, when I'm playing with newer players, a lot of times, if I'm doing a one-shot, knowing that they're not likely to run another game anytime soon, I just try to make that experience as exciting as possible. Which is sometimes hard to do at those lower levels. It just depends. There's no right answer like most of this stuff. Nice cup. Thank you. I'm glad you like my cup. I got it at an anime convention last year. It's got nothing to do with anime. They just sell it for every convention. They sell you like root beer and different drinks, and then you can buy the mug. It was super overpriced, but it does keep my water cold. My last campaign, I started them at level 10. It did not go far enough for them to level up. What happened? I mean, levels 10 to 11, if you're doing the XP based, is a decent stretch, but game fell apart because of scheduling conflicts. Damn, I'm sorry to hear that. It's the fucking dreaded scheduling conflicts. Aaron Meatball says, I have 2 babies first adventure one shots for people who want to taste D&D, see if they want to play. What's the adventure about? I do milestone, I don't want to calculate experience. That's fair. I like experience. I don't mind calculating it out. But I can understand both. And I don't know. I mean, it's one thing. I might switch to milestone in the next campaign. I'm gonna ask my party about it before I make the decision because I felt like they get excited, like they look forward to calculating the XP after each session, which is normally when I deal the XP out, unless there's like a significant time gap between events. I then have a 1 to 5 adventure I've constructed for parties who are brand new. As a player, I don't care either way. Fair enough. Personally, I like it just because it's like from a player's perspective, and obviously every player is different. But like from my perspective as a player, it's like I've played in milestone campaigns where there's like no how do I say it? There's no like understanding of when that milestone's gonna come, which is fine. And then as the DM, it gives you, unless you like are running the same module or campaign over again, it gives you something like less to think about. I guess it's a fair trade because you're having to calculate the XP on the monsters. So yeah, I don't know. I like it. One of the starter adventures is cute. It's about rescuing animals from the. Oh yeah, you told us about the pet shop lady, and the other one is dumber. You're trying to rescue a dog, or drug dealer's dipshit cousin. That could be fun. That could be a fun one. Everyone likes going off to save the drug dealer's dipshit cousin. But yeah, the pet shop lady who says all the animals like are the wrong name, if I remember correctly, is what you told us before. Recently, I've been persuaded by the benefits of gold as XP. What is gold as XP? And yes, that pet shop lady. Cool. See, I pay attention to what you guys say. Anytime the players gain gold, they get that much XP also. Okay. That's an interesting concept. I would listen to the arguments for it, but I don't know how much that description makes me want to use that in a campaign. It's an old method. Yeah. It incentivizes going out to explore and look for treasure. It's fair. I guess it would just depend on the type of campaign you're trying to run, right? If that's the primary thing you're trying to incentivize. Because then, does that mean that there's literally no other way to gain XP though? Right, like you don't get XP for anything that's not directly tied to a gold piece? Correct. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, no. I'd have to think about that. I don't know if that's the way. Oh, way for everyone. Listen to that. What's easier on you, the GM and your idiot players? Calculating the XP a party of 5 gets from fighting 3 goblins, 2 bugbears, and a wolf. Well, I mean, calculating the XP isn't necessarily that hard anymore. Like, if you propose it that way, it would take me a minute because I'd need to pull up all the prereq data. But, or discovering that those goblins had a small treasure of 600 gold pieces, and you get that much XP at the same time. Okay, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But that would that ease of use is diminished if you're not only using pen and paper, right? Like, because a lot of times I would build my encounters through my iPad, and when you're doing that, hold on, there we go. When you're building your encounters through the iPad, through one of the apps or anything like that, then the XP is already automatically calculated and divided based on the party as well. So calculating isn't too terribly hard, and I understand what you mean. That does make it... There's not going to be a lot of ways that are more cut and dry simple than what you just described, for sure. See, I'm an analog guy. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like everything else. There's no, 100% right answer. I don't have a laptop or a tablet or anything on my table when I run the game. I have my books, my GM screen, pad of paper, and I have to make do. There's nothing wrong with that either. Like I said, it's because ultimately there is more calculation involved. So the more you can involve technology, the more reduced that gap is going to be. But obviously, not everyone is going to have those options at the same time, and there's nothing wrong with that. And personally, I like pen and paper for a lot of things, right? So I even found myself like what I would do is I would use the iPad to build the encounter, and then I would still like I wouldn't even plug anything into the iPad after the fact. I would just put it on pen and paper. As far as things like initiative and XP and everything else was concerned, there's just something gratifying about using pen and paper. Cowboy says, I have my laptop and then I use my TV for showing the battle map. I like to use the TV for my like world or area maps, and then I'll usually print out the maps, which is expensive. It is not the most cost-effective way to do it, but it is. It's an option. I like having the map physically there. When I get this new table, I may or may not hook up a TV as well. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. And just use like digital maps on the TV, on the table. One session I had PS4 controller in hand to go through the dungeon I built in Minecraft. Don't do this. Damn. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work and a pain in the ass, to be honest. I know people who have like mounted projectors above their table to display like the maps onto the table itself, which is kind of a cool idea. But I don't know, I love my maps. You don't sit around the table, but just around my living room, so a big map on the TV was good for us. That's cool. Yeah, I mean that definitely makes more sense with that type of setting, right? Like, and that's the key, right? Is finding what's going to work best for your game. That's what I'm looking for. Ooh. Catboy says, actually, let me see. Let me catch up real quick. I used more paper maps back when we played in the university library. And Angry Meatball says I have a couple of dry erase maps. Yeah, usually what I'll do is I'll get a map, I'll get the PDF, and I'll actually have it printed and laminated somewhere. So then, you can use dry erase on it, and that works really well. It's just not cheap if you want to do bigger size maps. Catboy says, in the game, the Minecraft thing was cool, but actually making it took a while, even in creative mods. I bet. Oh, I bet. I'd hope it was cool. It's a lot of work. But if you can see on the dock, that's kind of what I was thinking in terms of like expanding on that idea of corrupted elementals, right? Like, so if you took some like I'm just gonna use White Dragon as an example because it's the first thing that comes to my mind is like a super high level cold monster, but you could follow that same naming structure. And just have these be elementals that are literally controlled by insert monster name here, right? So in this case, we're using a white dragon, but it could be really any monster, or not even monster, it could be a person who specializes in cold magic and decides to corrupt or contaminate these elementals to do its bidding. Let's see. I prefer to do tactics on hexes instead of squares, and hex paper is expensive. I've actually never played with hexes. I have also never played with hexes. Too many questions about lines and diagonals on squares for my liking. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that is very fair. But yeah, Cowboy, what are your thoughts on this? This is just like literally some basic examples. Names could always be changed, but I don't know. I actually did gridless for a while. Moon Spiders, I see your your several pride things. Pride emotes is the word I'm looking for. So, yeah. Virtual hug. Interesting. Frozen water. I like how both my flags are in that group. I mean, I think he probably like put every one of these that he could. So because that's his type of thing. But yes, obviously these names could be changed. Frozen water is just simple. Like maybe frigid air makes more sense than frigid earth. But you get the idea. It's like some synonym of cold or something that evokes potentially that cold. The idea of cold while still keeping the elemental name. And it's more about the flavor and the lore behind it too, right? Because like obviously, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't a water elemental deal cold damage? Right. But that's not really important. Because aesthetically, like frozen water, it could literally be, as the name suggests, I knew it was either cold or bludgeoning, but I haven't used a water elemental in a while. Well, even better. Then the damage type still changes. So it all works. It all works out. Oh, shit. Time always flies when I do these streams. I didn't even notice that we're already over an hour in. So that's cool. So, you know, just for my hourly shout out, thanks for everyone who's here, still working on monster ideas. If you're here and you haven't already said hello, make sure to say hi. Follow us if you're not already doing so that way you can be notified the next time we do a stream. Saturday will be our deep dive on monsters. We do have a fairly short list of monsters so far between Monday and today's stream, but that's honestly probably okay because I think the deep dives will take a little bit longer than some of the other stuff. It'll take us a little bit longer to flesh out some of these things, and a lot more diverting paths you can go with creatures and monsters. So, but if you do have any ideas for the topic of monsters or anything else, feel free to drop them in the chat. Or just anything else you want to talk about. If you're not already, also make sure to click the link and join our Discord server, because a lot of the stuff we talk about gets posted there as opposed to directly in the chat. You know, like all the PDFs and documents that some of these great folks have created and are willing to share with the community. So that is the best way to see all of that content and talk to me or anyone else in the community when we're not live on the air. Over here just pressing on my space bar. Cowboy says perhaps permafrost instead of frigid earth. And I'm picturing a creature that deals less damage than the earth elemental but has an aura of cold. Okay. So would you, obviously you have the stab block for one, but would you think of these corruptions as being equal to a normal one, or does the corruption maybe enhance the elemental, making it a little bit stronger variation? Speaking of earth elementals, I once had a druid with an earth elemental companion. This was in 3.5. I called it Cobbles because it was summoned in a city street. Let's go. Pull up this document. The fucking moist oyster. The Tome of Simon. Cobbles once picked up a goblin and tried to kill another goblin with the first one. Jesus. Sounds like Cobbles was kind of intense. Born in store negative metric items, fancy. I definitely made the cold fire elemental stronger than a fire elemental. It's a CR 10 instead of a 5. Yeah, I imagine that, like, I mean, that's kind of how I would envision it, right? Like, as these corruptions, like, also infuse the elementals with more power, right? So they should have a higher CR and some additional perks beyond Like, it should be like the best of both worlds. They get the advantage of what they already were, and then the added benefit of this new, like, elemental power. Without, you know, without being as direct as, um, like the hybrid elementals that we talked about earlier. Hey, Chicken Butt 431, welcome to the stream. What's up? We're just talking about monster ideas, chilling, you know. I'm trying to find something, I can't seem to find it. Not much, man. Not much. Just trying to just enjoy my Wednesday night. There we go. I'm an idiot. Oh, I had one, but it's weird. I mean, we take weird here. Go for it. Go for it. We like weird. Exactly. We let before D&D talk in this chat, so probably can't be weirder than some of the things that he said. It's a multicolored dragon. Okay. I am listening/reading while I look for this note page. So like if two dragons of separate types had a child. Ingrid Meatball, you probably know something like that already exists in older editions of D&D. If you can confirm or deny for me. I don't specifically know that it does. But it's an interesting concept. It kind of fits with the theme of what we were talking about earlier with elementals as well. There have been hybrids before, yeah. I kind of figured. What would be chicken butt? What would be one of the examples? You know, just because it exists before, it doesn't mean we can't do it different or better. Let's see. Blue and red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shit. There might be some kind of chart in the Dragonomicon. Fair enough. Time for me to settle on these names. So what would like with blue and red, for example, what do you think some of the benefits / changes of a multicolored dragon would be? There was a vampiric dragon. I can't say I'm surprised, but what the fuck would a dragon vampire do? God's mercy. Has the attributes of both. So like two breath weapons would be like the easy one, right? The multicolored scales would be the easy one. But you know, let me put it on the doc before I forget though. God's mercy. domains. I'm seeing a heading in this book called About Dragon Graveyards, which I'm going to have to read. Whatever it wants, man, until a very high-level party comes rolling in. Well, yeah, I mean, I assume... I mean, does the Vampiric... Yeah, tell me a bit more about how the Vampiric Dragon works, because would it change, like... Because I know with some dragon alterations, it keeps some of the aspects of its color, and then in other dragon alterations, they don't keep the aspects of the color. So, you know, like if it wasn't necessarily a high magic creature before, does it now have the ability to shapeshift and things like that? I'd be curious about that. And Chicken Butt 431 says can breathe either fire or electricity, and I was thinking something to set it apart was that both at the same time, as if it gets low, it's gonna use it. Oh shit. One moment. So I have a backup camera for it. Give me one moment, guys. I had a feeling it was going to die. Charged it all day. Still had a feeling the battery was going to die on the thing. But that is how it goes. The video. It is not showing up. Here, I'm gonna put the be right back thing on. I'm still right here, guys, just fixing the camera. Does it not want to? Huh. Okay, there we go. Alright. Black Dragon down. Alright, sorry about that, guys. We're gonna shift that around a little bit, go down like that. Yeah, I know. I just wanted to make sure the camera was working before I actually adjusted the video. because now we're using the Razer webcam that I got a little bit earlier on. Alright. Not perfect, but it will get the job done. I'm gonna fix that real quick and we should be good. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but it would not be a stream without some technical difficulties. You think you charge a battery all day and it's supposed to last 5 hours, it's going to last a little bit more than one, but that's the world we live in. At least the camera looks as good as it does when it is working. So this is why we have contingencies. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Let me go ahead and catch up on the chat real quick. Chicken Butt asks if there are psychic or radiant damage dragons. And Angry Meatball responds that they are in the Fizzbands book. Moon Spiders was kind enough to say boo while I was fixing my stream. So thanks, Moon Spiders. I appreciate you. Yeah, tower shouldn't be too much in the way now, but it is definitely more visible with the webcam. Do you have any ideas that could add to it or what it should do? Yeah, so we'll probably focus in on that during the deep dive. So definitely check in on Saturday and we can take a look at that, because that's going to be a lot to unpack, because you're talking about, like even if we just keep it to 2 at a time, that's a lot of different combinations of dragons, and typically with dragons we want to, it's a big one. Dragons, dragons are a lot to play with. So, but yeah, that's definitely one that we'll try to tackle on Saturday's stream and flesh out, so you can help bring some input and light onto that subject there. Let's see. Moon Spider says he's been inside the tower. I don't think that's true, but I'm actually pretty confident you haven't been inside that tower. And Angry Meatball says Fizzband's treatment of the Great Worm is a little underwhelming, in my opinion. I actually haven't read much of Fizzband's, so I probably need to look at that. An Elder Brain Dragon. I doubt I read them like they are out of the book. That's fair. How do they handle the Great Worm? I guess I could just read through it. The book is like feet from me. Once I finish this, maybe I'll read through Fizzbands. I'm trying to finally decide tonight. I think I'm gonna decide what my 7 god names are, like what the final names are gonna be, so I can stop debating on it. There are a few that I'm happy with, and there's a few that I'm not so happy with. Where the hell did I put that note? I put my fingers in it. Okay. Hey, good for you, man. Cowboy says, as far as the vampire dragon goes, it has the abilities of a normal dragon with added vampire powers like drain blood and dominate. Jesus. Great Worm gets a few extra legendary actions, and the second phase once you deplete its health for the first time. Other than that, it's a normal dragon. Okay, I got you. What CR is it? Nature. Oh, no. That's a passion. Domain. $28. Yeah, it doesn't sound flavorful enough for a CR28 creature, but what you gonna do? Change it, I guess. That's all you can do. Color would be red. Hey, Arculas has joined the archive. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. You've officially put us at 40 followers, so thank you so much. And, welcome to the stream. Make sure to say hello. Oh, shit. Okay. Dead Aussie Gamer has also joined the archive. Wow. Thank you so much. Holy shit. That was much appreciated. A little random in that, we're just kind of chilling. I'm trying to figure out some notes, and we just got 2 back-to-back follows. So thank you so much, guys. Before D&D actually just took 400 points of damage. So is now only 600 away from us having a new stream boss. But thank you so much, you two, and welcome to the archive. Can't wait to see what ideas you guys bring. Feel free to say hello to your fellow archivists. Alright guys, it's official. We now only need 10 more followers. That puts us at 41. We need 51 followers to actually make affiliate, because apparently one of my followers did not count. So 51 is the goal. We need 10 more people to join the archive. That made me forget what page I was looking for. As a matter of fact, Catboy says the Great Worms are 26, 27, 28. Okay. There it is. Passion is red. Give me 3. It's going to be patience. Yeah, guys, feel free to leave any comments or questions you guys have in the chat right now. I am trying to consolidate some of my notes so they're not all over the place and decide on my 7 god names. So I'll probably go ahead and read them out once I've made the final decisions, because then they'll be officially canon. Patience. Mirren. Do I have one better than Mirren? Name one. A super long name. Sirathai Loden Nimbri, pronounced Bob. I don't know about that one, but maybe I can think of a few places to use that, actually. So let me go ahead and copy that into the doc for a later note. Nope. That should go after Dice Poker. Make that a character name. I would probably use it for like a fey creature. Or a devil, maybe. That's not what I meant to do. Unformatted. There we go. Hey, but I still like it. Even so, what doesn't work for one thing can work for something else. Even when it's a silly suggestion, you know? Arculas. Put your pronunciation in the chat if you don't mind. I assume it's Arculas, but I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Arc, waiting for 30 gigabytes of map assets to download from my OneDrive. Nice. That's probably gonna take you a bit. What are you using it for? You got a session you're about to run, or what? But welcome to the chat. First time chatter, new member of the archive. We appreciate you joining along. Let's see. Did I lose the other doc? I did not mean to close out of the other doc. Oh, well. it's another one. I've got all my Norse-themed 5e campaign transferred to Founder, VTT, finally. Now the hard part is making the maps and the world interface. Are you doing in person or digital? Digital because all my friends live on the West Coast that I used to play with. I gotcha. Well, at least you have a way to make it work, which is nice. I am lucky enough that most of my, well, not most of, all my players are within a 10 to 30 minute drive of me. So we're able to make in-person work for us. Oh, shit. Alright. Abraham Ray has joined the archive. So, shout out to Abraham Ray. Wow. 3 followers in 15-20 minutes. Hey, thank you guys. Y'all are killing it. Hello, please call me Abe. Will do, Abe. Welcome to the chat. Oh, shit. Junior's account donated $5. Alright. You know, this is, I don't even know what to say right now. I don't know what's actually going on. You guys are being very gracious tonight. Yeah, thus ends the reign of before D&D, and now the reign of Junior's account. Long may he reign. Let's see. Angry Meatball says, are you using the Midgard setting from Cowboy Press, or is this homebrew? Cowboy says, rip before D&D. His reign was 2 streams. I'm surprised he made it that long. I am using Civland. How would you make an autistic monster / PC? I'm not gonna lie to you, Abe. I don't know. Ark is using his own homemade worlds and realms. Very cool. Abe says he's got Asperger's syndrome himself. Well, hey man, I'm not really sure what to say to that, to be honest with you. It's created by Dream Realm Storytellers. I'll look that up here in a second. Mirren. Fuck it. Moon spiders. What is wrong with you, bro? What are you doing? Mark says he's never played, he or she, don't want to assume. I've never played in a pre-made campaign before because I prefer making my own. That's the reason why I have been only a DM and never a player for nearly 27 years. Shit. Yeah, I think that's the record. Because, Angry Meatball, what's your D&D age again? Abe says, my character in my campaign is a scientist wild soul from Xanth. Junior's account says they. Fair enough. Angry Meatball says, finally someone older than me. His name is Hugo Nemo, and his father's name is Bozo Nemo. Catboy says, I would honestly not trust things from Autism Speaks, just in general. And Angry Meatball says it started in 2004, I think. So, 18-ish years. Yeah, damn. Takes you by almost 9 years. That's crazy. Well, welcome. Welcome, welcome. We take players and DMs of all role-playing ages. 27 years is, you are the new eldest, though. Abe, what do you mean you think your character age is 27? Do this real quick. Oh, okay. You mean you literally just forgot and would need to double check. Fair enough. Fair enough. So speaking of which, since we have so many new people in the chat right now, the question I normally like to ask when we get some newer faces is, like, what's your story? Art kind of already told is that he likes to create his own world, so he's been a forever DM for nearly 27 years. But what about you, Abe? How'd you get into it? And Ark, what first kind of sparked your interest? When I was 10 years old, my great-grandmother bought me the entire first edition D&D and AD&D books, and then instead of wrapping them, she placed them into her old chest with over 50 spiral notebooks, a dozen sets of dice, and miniatures. Jesus. I mean, that's like a backstory right there, man. Like that's the thing of legends, you know? Okay, we can start now. Alright, guys. That's official. The stream has started. I don't know what we were doing for the past hour and 55 minutes, but it's official. Welcome to the stream. It's True Blue. Yeah, good to see you. She did this because you used to write a lot of fantasy fiction stories. Before you were 10, you used to write a lot of fantasy fiction stories? Yeah, I mean, that's like your grandma obviously pays great attention, but that's just impressive in and of itself. Do you DM professionally or what? Because you know, like obviously you have a lot of experience and um, yeah, you have a ton of experience. One, two, three, which is gonna lead me to aspiration, the one I cannot decide on. I'm just a player. I started late. That's about it. The books interested me. That's about it. Okay, fair enough. You didn't write fiction in elementary school, Aiden. I mean, I did, but not to the degree that it sounds like Ark did. Like, not enough that my parents would have gone or my grandparents would have gone and bought me something like that. I did like to write when I was younger, though. I always have. Going to bed. Sorry. No need to be sorry, Abe. Thanks for the follow, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. We will be back live Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Time, just so you know. It's True Blue says goodnight. Catboy says goodnight, Abe. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, most of us probably did to some form or capacity, but uh, Ark says he has 3 campaigns, or I have 3 campaigns already going here in Great Falls, Montana, Star Wars 5e, Heroes Unlimited, and Vampire the Masquerade Monday, Tuesday, and Saturdays IDM. And recently started Wands and Wizards. Yeah, you sound very busy. Thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to come talk with us. I love listening and interacting with Twitch while I work on my campaigns. Well, we're lucky to have you. Glad that you chose to come interact with us. If you are so inclined, we do a lot of, you know, like world building, character building stuff here. So feel free to share your ideas. We do also have a Discord if you want to kind of talk to me or any of the other fine folks here in between streams. And that's where a lot of times we'll post like our PDF docs, like anything that we come up with is open market. So none of the stuff that we make is specifically for me, it's for everyone to use. So all that stuff gets posted in the Discord. So feel free to take what you want, share what you want. That's what we're all about. Cowboy says, I've only ever ran one game at a time. The most I ever did was run a game and also play in another. Yeah, I ran 2 campaigns at the same time at one point. That did not last very long. It was too much for me. Now, granted, my work schedule was completely different. I could see later on, probably in the next few years, me doing more than one like campaign at a time. But for now, that's not really possible. True Blue says, I'm going to DM a campaign for some friends using a homebrew setting I started a little over a year ago. That's exciting. When do you plan to start that? I know you've been talking about it, but when are you? It'll be the first campaign I've DM'd. Congratulations. Hmm. How many players do you recommend for a first-time DM? Ark says, I hope you enjoy DMing because the world needs more. True Blue says, well, I love writing worlds in one shot. I ran. Aaron Meatball says 4. I think 4 is a solid number. 6 is my sweet spot, but if you're trying to, ease into it, 4 is a pretty solid. I did a group of 6 my first time. I would not recommend that number. How many do you have now, True? From the sound of it, sounds like you have 2. It might be tough because it's an in-person campaign. 3 to 4 is optimal for a beginner, so you won't get overwhelmed. Yeah, I agree. 3 to 4 is probably going to be the sweet spot. What's more important than the number, though, is the quality of people, right? Like, don't add a third person just to add a third person if you don't feel like they're going to be a good fit for your group. Catboy says half of those players were new to D&D, mind you. The other half were just new to 5th edition. Your Meatball says work has slowed down for me. I could reasonably take a couple more games on. If that's something you want to do, go for it, as Ark said, we always need more DMs. True Blue says, all of my players will probably be total noobs. There's nothing wrong with that. Ark says, 5th edition is very noob friendly. Be thankful you aren't trying to teach them 3.5 or Pathfinder. Very true. Silly. Catboy says, granted, everyone was new to 5th edition at the time. CLI. Alright, maybe you guys can give me some recommendations while I'm looking through this. I cannot decide what name I want to use for my goddess of aspiration or my goddess of the sky. It's gotta be like, I don't know how to explain it. Ideally it would relate to wind, sky, something similar, but it needs to like be a very striking, like captivating name. It is probably Nevaeh. I like that. One of my best friends, his niece's name is Nevaeh. Damn, and you came up with that, threw that out quick. And it's got symbolism too, because it actually means something to me. Let's see what it means. And this is why. And it's literally heaven spelled backwards. Wow. Okay. That was quick. Goddess of aspiration. Is that the right spot, though? Missing a couple of prudence. Aspect. Magic. Guys, feel free to drop any comments or ideas you have in the chat. I am almost done with. I've got 2 more gods to decide on, and then I will be able to read these out. But if you guys have any questions or any ideas, I will stop what I'm doing to put those on the doc. Alright, now I just need to decide what name I want to use. Cowboy says, not a monster, but any of y'all ever had a location that had one plane kind of blending into another? Not a plane, but I think that's a great idea. Like, I mean, I haven't personally had a plane. I've had things meld into each other, but there could be a lot of examples like that. Like, I've seen stories where I think even in D&D canon, maybe don't hold me to it, but I feel like I've read somewhere where like certain volcanoes or mountains will have connections directly to like the plane of fire, which is like obviously like an easy one to do if you're gonna do something that's connected to the plane of fire. A volcano is kind of the obvious choice, but. I had a place where the PCs gradually enter the Feywild. What was the place? Was it like a forest or something? Because that is definitely something that I want to do in my campaign setting, is have these areas where, you know, like maybe a wrong step or under certain conditions you can find yourself somewhere you were not expecting. See. Also, in a one-shot had fairy circles which transported you to the Feywild. That's cool. Catboy, what would you say Riley Runeseller's personality is like? I gotta start thinking about it. Let's since his role-playing debut will be coming up next week. Scatterbrained and also seems to be preoccupied with something else when talking to people. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's kind of what I envisioned. Like he's always tinkering on something, even though he should be focused on the conversation at hand. Let me refer to the doc. See if I can pull him from here. Oh, that's the other thing, didn't I? God damn it. Oh no, it's because it's a PDF. I'm tripping. Catboy says it was actually a cave and it led to a swampy, nasty corner of the Feywild presided over by a hag coven. That's a nice place to end up, you know? Just a casual stroll down to the bog. Catboy says, yeah, I had them deal with a shambling mound and a poisonous fog when they first entered the swamp. Shit. Oof. Kind of like that one. But yeah, I do like the idea of having like borderlands, like these areas that lead to like Chronicle of Narnia-esque. You walk through the wardrobe and it takes you to the hag swamp. You know, because you can do that with like pretty much any plane. But you also gotta, I guess, be careful to make it make sense. Like it has to be a one-way door in a lot of those cases, unless you're gonna make the fact that it's a two-way door a story hook. Because even with that cave, like, I don't know what you used as the plot hook for them to go to that cave, but you could do, like, hey, kids have been going to this cave and they keep on disappearing and no one can find them. It's because it's a one-way ticket to Hag City. There we go. Alright, since I got so much help, or I got some like really good quick help last time, I'm gonna throw these last two out and see if we can come up with them together, because I'm still undecided. I might have a decision for one of them. But let's see. I need 2 names left for my deities. I need the my god of magic, who is also the god of the virtue prudence. So ideally, I'm looking for something like that evokes wisdom but is relatively simple. And then I need one for the god of conviction, who is also the god of the literal heavens, the heavenly planes. So something that evokes a sense of like strength or regality, royalty. So that one could probably be a little bit more weighty. Zarion. I like that. Put it on the list. Yeah, because that's like mystic enough, but not. The second one is the god of conviction, or the god of the heavens. Sorry on. Ashrak, Mulane. Kind of like Mulane. Zalder. I like those names. I'm debating on them. I have a few different options, just on like these 7 are like everything else stems from them. So I'm trying to be very picky about what I end up going with. Nevea was easy because it just actually ended up happening to be something that's significant to me. So that was perfect. Like I couldn't have even expected that that suggestion would have come out. But Catboy says they went there to find magical cocoons to help fix an issue with a large chasm across a mountain pass that had suddenly opened up, accompanied by a large part of the weed being torn in the area. Shit. Yeah, that's a problem. Oh, my next 2 displays should come in tomorrow. I'm not sponsored by Displays officially, but my my Hollow Knight one and my Yu Yu Hakusho one are coming out. Super excited about those. I'm sure you are. No, I mean, I meant officially in that, like we talked about last stream, that I sent the email and got the rejection like right away. So like, not only am I not sponsored, they've already told me to fuck off. But yeah, I was literally thinking like, that does sound like something that someone who is sponsored and didn't want to say they were sponsored would say, like, officially I'm not sponsored. Hmm. Sorry. What's everyone up to tonight? I know usually I'm the background or the secondary thing, but what are you guys doing? I'm always curious what you guys are working on while I'm taking my notes, or y'all are, working on maps and Foundry. Did those 30 gigabytes already download? King of Magic, Zarian. It's different. Oriana, Ava, Mirren, Tarova, Nevaeh, Zarion, and Izon. Oriana, Ava, Mirren, Tarova, Nevaeh, and Izon. Angry Meatball says, I'm working on the storyline for that Toma Simon joke thing that we came up with. How's that going? And Ark says, yeah, it only took 20 minutes. Oh, okay, that's not so bad. Okay. Cool. I think that's gonna be the ones. Sorry. As it turns out, you can't just knock out a choose your own adventure. Needs planning. If anyone could just knock it out, Angry Meatball, it would be you. So if you can't do it, then it can't be done. Cowboy says, I'm looking back over my campaign notes. I need to work on this some more. I currently don't even have anything for my second criminal. Asher. Oriana, Ava, Mirren, Tarova, Nevaeh, Asher, and Izon. It's 3 A names. So that matters. Yeah, what do you mean by criminal, Catboy? Catboy says the PCs are sort of detectives, sort of corporate enforcers. Their primary job is largely tracking down criminals. That's cool. Corporate enforcers. Are they working out of one town or city, or what's the setting? Or rather, the scope of the setting, I should say. Yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna run with. Angry Meatball says, what sort of criminal do you need? That's not what I need. I need a full list. Cowboy says, a city-state, basically the city and its surrounding area, which is largely farmland, since outside the city walls is highly dangerous jungle. I have the criminal. He's a Warhammer-wielding murderer. Shit. Angry Meatball, I got a question for you. Where can I get the best list of the god domains? Like the official D&D, like a full list. Because now what I need to do, now that I've decided on the gods, I need to start figuring out which domains each of these 7 will cover. It's going to be my next task. There's like a wiki on the Forgotten Realms, but I don't know if maybe you know a better list I could use. May I post a link? Of course. Ark, go for it. And then there's a appendix in the PHP that covers the gods in official canon. Alright, let me do this. I'm going to fill out my water because it's about that time anyways. I haven't filled it up all stream. And then I'm going to grab my PHP as well. So I will be right back. back. The link Art posted is that appendix hosted on D&D Beyond. Perfect. This whole thing. Blank document, paste this. Thank you both for that. Oh, look at that. Okay. That makes that even simpler. Thank you, Catboy. And so these are all the like official ones. There's not any other domains. Like I know obviously like when you're looking at the you know, like when you're talking about the gods in a broader sense, there's gonna be more like for like the different elements and things like that, but are these all the like mechanical, I guess is the word I'm looking for, domains, like domains that a cleric or a paladin, for example, could in theory tap into based on the books? Okay, so these are all the published. Twilight and War. Cool. Some of these are super simple. Go ahead and just see through them. So I'm going to give Arcana, obviously, to the God of Magic. City is probably going to go to City, Life and Death. I'm going to give to Ava. Forge. Managed to assign order and trickery to the same god. He is basically the god of lawyers. Yeah, with it being such a small number, I would imagine that most of the like opposites are gonna go to the same gods because they'll oversee both. Tarova will be Tempest. Order. What the hell is that? Alright. Thanks for joining the Discord, Arc. Glad to have you. Point, peace, nature. Yeah, some of them are going to have 3. War. Peace. Knowledge. I've been debating on setting up a Final Fantasy D20 campaign. It sounds like a lot. It's a lot to convert over. It's a bot. Technically, the lawyer god is the law, or god of contracts and law, but his title is the High Solicitor. Oh, that's another one I need is titles. Start working on those next. Forge. Cool. Cool. I've got 7 gods, and they're fully functional. Or mostly fully functional. Alright, thanks for the help with that, guys. Whew. Oh wow. We're about to be in the last hour of the stream. Let me catch up on these comments real quick. Cowboy says it have 8, so most of them have 2. Okay, there we go. Ark says they have a Final Fantasy D20 system already online, but it's 3.5. Luckily, converting 3.5 to 5th edition isn't really that hard. Angry Meatball asks, do you have an audience for it, or are you going to just do it to do it? Catboy says every country should have an airship engineer named Sid with no explanation as to why. Yeah, absolutely. Ark says I might advertise it on Twitch or something to find players with on Foundry. I've already got a title, Final Fantasy, The Shattering of the Realms. There you go. Yeah, this is a productive stream. Sid, Biggs, and Wedge are always in Final Fantasy. We got down to our final 9, guys. As we go into our last hour, we are 9 followers away from affiliate. So 9 more members of the archive, and we'll be exactly where we need to be. And we have 6 days to get there. So if you guys know anyone else who you think may enjoy this content, make sure you send them the link, let them know, and get them in here so they can follow. If you're here right now and you're enjoying this content and you're not already following, then go ahead and hit that follow button so you can stay up to date on, when we go live, when we're doing this thing. I am live every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday from 8 p.m. to midnight Central Time. So you can always catch me here, usually with a few of my regulars. If you like this content and don't necessarily want to wait until the next stream to be able to talk to us, make sure you go ahead and also click that second link on my page that leads to our Discord server, which is where most of our bigger content gets posted. All the docs that we make on here go live there. And everyone who talks on here frequently is there, which means you can catch them and catch me and ask questions and get feedback on your ideas without having to be live on the stream every single time, or wait for the next episode to go live. But thank you guys so much. It's been a really productive stream. I need this for next week, so I'm glad I was able to get this done. And we got some new fresh faces in here today, which is always exciting. Alright. Aaron Meatball says, no idea if it's any good. I can put it in the Discord if you want. To your Final Fantasy class? Yeah, go for it. Catboy says, oh, by the way, I'm going to be uncharacteristically late for Saturday stream. I'm going to have a friend over and that night and watch Boba Fett. Go for it. Hey, I think, first off, it really doesn't, I'm not going to trip if you guys are late or even have to skip a stream, right? Like, if you got things to do Saturday night, Catboy, don't feel like you're obligated to show up, but we love having you here. So, better late than never is what I always say. And if you got to skip a stream once in a while or be late once in a while, there's no problem. I've run late plenty of times, and I'm the guy who has to sit in front of the camera. So, life happens, and you should enjoy it while it lasts. I need to catch up on these Disney Plus shows. Oh, is that true? They're going to use the same guy? Ewan McGregor, I think that was his last name? Maybe? I don't know. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, to be totally honest, but he was very good as Obi-Wan, for sure. There's no doubt. I would, I would watch an Obi-Wan show if they have him reprising his role. May 25th, then I guess I'll be watching that. Alright, guys. We are in our last hour. So that means we are kind of in the wind down portion of the stream, or getting towards the wind down portion of the stream. Not a lot of content in the doc so far today, but obviously we've been working on some other things, you know. So feel free, if you have any ideas for monsters for our Saturday deep dive, go ahead and post those. But otherwise, I will add these topics. I need some god titles. And then we also need, to Catboy's suggestion earlier, domain crossing examples. Okay, that leads to a bog in the Feywild. Angry Meatball says Star Wars has definitely lost me. The new movies may be kind of bad, but the Disney Plus shows are great. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I haven't really cared to give them a chance because of the last few movies, but I'll probably eventually check out The Mandalorian. Everyone fucking shills The Mandalorian. I'll definitely watch the Obi-Wan show, though. Ark says he didn't like the new Star Wars movies. Thankfully, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau said what they are doing with Disney Plus series is removing the three new movies. And Catboy says The Mandalorian is amazing. Yeah, I don't think I've had anyone say it's bad. I just haven't gotten around to watching it. Oof. I really wonder how that battery wasn't charged. But oh well. Whew. This bad boy. I'm gonna grab my copy of Fizzbands real quick as well. Definitely gonna love Ahsoka Tano because Thrawn will finally make an appearance. I'm always looking forward to the next horseshit Star Trek show they put out. Those are certainly worth my time. That'll be cool. I'm just looking forward to more Ahsoka. Ooh, it's got that new book smell, which means I have not read it enough. So what are the gods like? Can't come up with titles without that knowledge. Fair enough. You guys were seemingly enjoying your conversation about Star Wars, so I wanted to give y'all some time before I dived into it. So, here are my 7. I'll go ahead and type them out. I'm sure there's probably typos as well, but forgive the typos. Go ahead and catch up on these. Mine is all crisp as well. By contrast, my monster manual is falling apart. Yeah, you can definitely tell which ones you've used more than others. Let's see. Literally, by the way, the binding was awful. Ark says, I hope the new Dungeons and Dragons movie won't be garbage because there are going to be some big names. Michelle Rodriguez and Chris Pine, to name a few. They have a Dungeons and Dragons movie coming out? If there's a YouTube trailer or anything, link something to it. I want to take a look at it. Catboy says, wait, there's going to be a new D&D movie. Will it match up with gloriousness of the original one or even the magnificent animated series? Angry Meatball says, ever seen Ghost of Mars? Star-studded cat, can't save shit movie, and I don't have faith that we're going to get anything but shit. Arc, don't know how good it will be. Also, if you don't know, Willow sequel Netflix series is being filmed. Warwick Davis is coming back. Christ, they'll reboot anything now, won't they? Willow is a must-watch movie. You said it's on Netflix? Let's take a look. After finding a baby adrift in a river, a dwarfish Newland named Willow must protect it from an evil queen, battling dragons and vanquishing evildoers with the help of the warrior Mad Mardigan to bid shield and harm. Interesting. Oh. Catboy says, by the way, if you don't know how amazing the animated series is, the heroes beat a beholder by shoving a flower in its eye. Oh, and they fight Tiamat in like the first episode. Where can you watch the animated series nowadays? Probably on YouTube, I guess. I have it on DVD. Let me see if I can buy it. It was super cheap. Let's see if I can find it. $42 on Amazon. That's not terrible, but probably a better way to get it. We'll see. Because it's awful and thus no one but bad media watchers want to watch it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with bad media, you know, from time to time. Angry Meatball says, monster idea, a swarm of crawling claws that has formed together into either a large humanoid shape or a much larger hand. Ooh. Okay. Mark says that all the Dungeons and Dragon movies they have released were bad. I can't say I'm surprised, you know? Like, it's a hard thing to get right, first off, but, you know, unfortunately with those things, it usually ends up being a cash grab. Mark says, to Aaron Meatball, the hands idea reminds me of the scene from The Labyrinth. Catboy says, they really were, but the first two are just so amazingly terrible, wonderful, so bad they're good movies. Monster idea guy made of bees, courtesy of 1B4chan. Okay. Guy made of bees. Like, is this just a bunch of bees that looks like a guy, kind of? Or is this a bunch of bees that, like, the average person can't tell that it's not actually a guy made of bees? These are the things we need to find out. You were able to get the entire series for just a few bucks from where? It is on average $40 on Amazon now, but they're resellers, so it's not like Amazon's actually selling it. Let me see. I'll look again. Yeah, lowest price used listed on Amazon is $42.02 with a $3.99 delivery fee, so effectively $46. Links reference to Candyman, so either a man totally covered in bees or a swarm of bees that resembles a person. Set up this. Oh, we're going to end up deciding for sure what it is here in a bit. I say here in a bit, it's going to be 3 days. I would not recommend getting the series for that price. It is not good. Yeah, I was not planning on buying it for $42, but not for 27 episodes. There seems to also be a Spider-Man villain named Swarm whose body is made of bees. Oh, really? I never knew that. Look that up. Okay, there sure is. Okay, cool. Sorry. Pull up this. Swarm is a fictional supervillain appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. The character's entire body is composed of bees and is mainly featured as an enemy of Spider-Man. That's just creepy. Of course, he's a fucking Nazi. Fritz von Meyer became one of Adolf Hitler's top scientists, and he's fighting Spider-Man with bee powers. Interesting. In another Spider-Man universe, Spider-Man is made up of actual spiders. They do everything in another universe then, you know? Not even surprised anymore. Have you guys seen the most recent Spider-Man? And if so, what did you think about it? Comics are weird, man. You're absolutely right. That was a good sneeze. I needed to get that out for an hour. Oh my god, loved No Way Home. You did not see it? Yes, it was amazing. Yeah, Doctor Strange is gonna be good. Marvel's on some next level stuff right now. Although I thought Eternals was garbage. But everything else is looking good. Death, the second best Spider-Man movie. What was the best Spider-Man movie then? This was my favorite Spider-Man movie, personally. Honestly, it might have been my favorite Marvel movie. Eternals was hot garbage because they killed Gilgamesh. I don't know why I can't talk. Spider-Verse? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I still think No Way Home was my favorite, but I could see why Spider-Verse would be number one. It was very good. Marvel greater than DC. Huh. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the movies, that's not even debatable. When you're talking about the comics, there's a lot more room for debate. A lot of people would have strong arguments that the comics are better, but I don't really read the comics, so I don't care. I watch the movies. No Way Home is a very, very close second for me. Man. No Way Home was just. I would have seen that movie like 3 or 4 more times in theaters if I had enough groups of people to go with. Ooh, actually, you know what? As fast as movies are coming out nowadays, I bet it's gonna come out on Blu-ray pretty soon. April 12th. Yeah, I don't usually get like the special editions or the steelbooks for movies, but that's one that I would do it for if they have a good cover art. No Way Home March. It says April 12th in the U.S., April 4th in the U.K. Apparently you can pre-order it. Let me see. March 22nd for digital purchase? Okay, fair enough. Oh shit. I don't know if I like that steelbook enough to justify. Not that the $5 difference in price is a big deal. I'll most likely watch it 3 times in a row. I just want that 4K copy. Which is $30. Let me see if someone else has the steelbook. I can't imagine having that kind of endurance at this age. They got all kinds of different cover arts. It's wild. I like the colors on it. I just don't know if I like the actual art. Oh well. I got plenty of time to think about that. April's a good way off. Alright guys, we got less than 30 minutes left. If you're here, thanks for being here. Love hanging out with you guys. But we got, about 25 minutes. If you have any ideas that you want to drop in relation to monsters or deity titles or really anything at all, anything you guys want to talk about, throw it out there. We will be back I'm doing our deep dive on Saturday from 8 p.m. Central to midnight Central Time, so I'm looking forward to building out some of these monsters. Seeing some returning faces once again, hopefully. I will be there on Saturday night. Sounds good. I bet you'll have some great ideas for these monster deep dives. So we're excited to have you. But we got a little bit of time. Throw out any ideas you guys got. I think I'm gonna read through Fizzbands a little bit more, because I only kind of skimmed through it before we started talking about Spider-Man and typing out the gods and whatnot. But I am here. Always love throwing ideas. Good. Because that's what we're all about. Giving ideas, getting ideas, you know? I hope they release a new version of the Book of Vile Darkness. Isn't that like a second edition book? If I'm not mistaken. I'm probably mistaken. Third? Okay. Is there any rumor that they're going to do that? Or is it just a hope of yours? What? I'm hoping we get support for psionics. Yeah, that seems to be the common thing people are asking for. So hopefully they put in the effort to flesh it out. Looking to get back to Athos? What is Athos? Got a title from Mirren. It's simple, but how do you feel about the Timekeeper? I like it. Why does it keep doing that? Is that plugged in? Maybe I just need to change a setting. Timekeeper. I like it. Dark Sun, okay. Hey. Think either way could work. Sometimes simple is better, you know? But it just all depends on your preference. Okay. What's going on? What was that all about? So that was pretty different stream. Not gonna lie. A lot of random peaks, you know. I was really surprised we got 3 followers in 20 minutes. It was pretty wild. Hold on, I need to find a notebook. Not to mention a new stream boss. True. Junior's account came out of nowhere. And he actually timed it pretty well too. Like, I don't think he did that intentionally, but you know, like he did it immediately after we got those 3 followers, so he didn't end up taking any damage. I would have felt a little bad for him if he had dropped the $5 and then immediately taken 600 points of damage from 3 follows. That would have sucked. What's a good... That's not what I want. Called Baal's Benediction. Okay. If you don't recite it properly, he won't listen to you, and you have to recite a bunch of his titles in it. Sounds like a very vain god. Sounds like an annoying god. Ooh. Let's see if I can find a samurai shampoo one. Oh, no way. He's got self-esteem issues. I'll try not to be like that when I achieve godhood. Yeah, It's a struggle, you know, not being self-conscious when you get that high, get that high and mighty. Oh, he busts the guys that pushed him to kill on a lot of occasions, and he'd really rather not. It's hard. It's hard in these heavens, you know. I'm in love with these. Kill. How have I not looked that up yet? Jesus Christ. So he has doubt about himself and his own motivations. The god suggested his petitioners give him affirmations to build him up. Sounds like he has a lot of reason to be self-conscious. Magus Omega, the first and the last. Counter of the ineffable, shepherd of Ephemera. Are these all his titles? The one with like fucking the pity party god? He's the first and the last? Yes, mortals don't know this. Well, there's an episode title right there. Pity Party of the Gods. Yeah. Imagine mortals know that their god has fucking self-esteem issues. Jesus. That would be unfortunate. That would be a hard life for sure. But we got about 10 minutes left. You guys have anyone you want me to pass you off to once I'm done? Any suggestions? I like to try to raid at the end of the stream, but maybe I'll just go on Twitch and find someone random. Mix it up. Yeah, because it doesn't look like anyone I follow is up. Technically, he is the god of magic. He has been causing magic to exist in the mortal realm, but he's not a master of it in any way. Okay, I got you. So here's his titles. You have to use all of them when you pray because he has issues. It's crazy. Guys, I know it's a little vain of me, but like I look at these, I look at these D&D channels, right? Like, and it's like all the same thing, and like 90% of them are just the same thing. But you go from video number 1 or link number 1 has almost 1K viewers, and then it drops to 43. I want to be that number 2. Trying to be number 1 on a Wednesday night is probably not going to happen. But if we can become the channel that's next, we're the 44 viewer channel, I'd be okay with that. These are all games, though. Yeah, and I guess there really aren't a ton of world building streams. Well, I guess this is the D&D thread. The Compassionate Luminescence. The title for the Goddess of Light, I imagine. Goddess of Mercy, Oriana. Also, the God of Light, Life, doesn't want to be called by her name when you pray to her. She only wants to be referred to as Mother or Bright Mother. Yeah. I mean, that's the great thing about there being 7 specific gods. It's very easy to tell what titles refer to who usually. Hmm. Yeah, I really can't find anything worth sending you guys to. I'm following Shroud. Maybe now how I end up following this guy. Your gods all have issues. That's nice. I mean, they should be flawed, but self-esteem issues, that's a new one. What the fuck is going on here? They all have an intense fear of death and are supremely paranoid of each other. Yeah, I mean, is ascension a fairly common thing within your setting? The fervent warden. They have a creature entity trap that wants to eat them all. They can only keep a trap for so long. That's fair. That's fair. I'd be a little scared too. Alright. Well, it is that time, basically. So, I am going to head to bed. You guys have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Seems like Ark headed off. So the only way they found to contain it is to kill one of their own and construct a cage from their remains, which the creature will slowly eat its way out of. Used to be 18 of them. Oh shit. Yeah, well that's not good. They need more gods to ascend at that point. That's not good at all. Who will be next? Yeah, it's intense as hell. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, guys. Well, one last big shout out to all of the new members of the archive who've joined between these last 2 days when we were offline, and then the 3 who joined today. So, Archelaus, Dead Aussie Gamer, and Abraham, or Abe as you like to be called. Thanks for joining, and thanks Junior's account for the $5 donation, making yourself a stream boss. Guys, I will be back on Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Time, ready to do this deep dive. So if you guys want to make some fully fleshed out monsters, make sure to come check it out. If you're not already, follow. Hop in the Discord so you can talk to us in between streams, and check out all my other stuff because there's other things we're working on. But until next time, I'll see you guys. Angry Meatball, Catboy, as always. Thanks for joining, spending some time with me. I'll see you guys in a couple days. Peace.